he began to teach. Are y'all watching this now? He went in the synagogue and began to teach. All right, go ahead to the next verse. The people, watch this now. The people were amazed at his teaching. Why? They were amazed. Here they were. He walks in. Now you got to look at me right here. You got to get the full effect of this right here. This is just the beginning, really, of Jesus' earthly ministry. I mean, it's just beginning. And he had just got picked up, what was his name? Simon and Andrew and James and John, I think it was. He just picked them up, and they went in to Capernaum, and they went in the synagogue, went into church. And here is somebody, of course, the people may have heard some of him, about him, but he walks in there and he just begins to teach. And the people were amazed at his teaching. For he taught, look at here, with real authority. So what does that tell you about what was being taught before? I mean, they were amazed at his teaching, for he taught with real. Somebody say real. Look at your neighbor and ask them, are you real? That's the thing about it. We've got to learn to be real in our lives. That's what the world, look here, why were they amazed? Because he was teaching with real authority. He wasn't just teaching with authority, he was teaching with real authority. There's a difference between being real and just teaching or preaching. I mean, man, there's a whole lot of teaching going on. There's a whole lot of religion going on. The churches are full of teachers that ain't really got real authority. Now, Brian, you're kind of judging. Well, I mean, it was back then. Has anything changed? Unfortunately, not. The people they were amazed at his teaching, for he taught with real authority, quite unlike. Man, as I read this, I thought, wow. I've read this, and you've heard me say this over the weeks 100 times, and I never really saw this. Quite unlike the teachers of religious law. Now, what was the difference there? Huh? Well, yeah, I mean, but the people were amazed at his teaching, for taught with real authority, quite unlike the teachers of religious law. He was totally different than them. Totally different. Quite unlike. I mean, that's, and when we become a child of God, possibly, amen. Sounds good to me. The law the law didn't have nothing but death. It always had death. The law would bring you condemnation, kept you down. But he taught with real authority, real, quite unlike the teachers of religious law. He had real authority. They didn't have real authority. It don't sound like. It said quite unlike. He taught with real authority, quite unlike the teachers that were there. Amen? All right, go to the next verse. Suddenly, there's that word. Man, there's a lot of suddenlies in the Bible. Y'all notice that? And our God is what? He's a God of the suddenlies. Amen. So whatever's going on in your life suddenly can happen to you too. Amen. But Jesus done come in.